and there's no master in grieving.
Yeah.
As she says that
It's a very
you can
messy
literally
journey.
lose 5 people in your life, and even from like the fifth time you lose that person, you still don't know how to handle grief. So
It's like I'm saying, time doesn't heal, but things do get better.
Better, yeah.
And go through all those emotions. Be kind to yourself. Be easy on yourself. Like, don't rush the process.
you can't rush it.
Don't rush the you're gonna see you're gonna go down, right?
You're gonna go downhill.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
Hi everyone.
Welcome back to our podcast. My name is Ginelo Makueji.
I'm Dipsy Mampuru.
And this is
Embrace
It.
Hi guys, we're back.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say we back like we never left, cause damn,
We've
but we've
been okay.
it's not bad.
We've been okay.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Yeah, not too bad, guys. Not too
Are you
bad.
that bad? I guess. But how are you, baby?
I'm good, baby. How are you? I'm tired.
I know. Yeah, no. You've been saying
I'm tired. I need a month
break,
break, a vacation. I need a vacation.
doing nothing.
Yeah. Not going anywhere, just resting. I need to rest. I'm so tired, guys. I feel like when you get to this point of the year, yeah. the
But this
tiredness
point of the year
starts
came very
creeping in.
quick.
Yay, this year's
Just
moving.
like we're in July.
It's
soon.
moving.
It's moving.
Yeah, it's moving. Let's wrap it up. Merry Christmas. Let's wrap it up.
It's chai.
How are you, baby?
I'm good. I also feel like I'm tired.
Yo.
I'm tired. Like I need rest. I need to rest. The girl gotta rest. But
Yeah.
besides being tired, I'm doing good.
Guys, and my friends are going staycation.
No, it's not even me. I'm not the problem.
Yeah, well.
I'm not the problem.
Yeah, but like we need it. I think had it been previous years, we'd be on our third
third.
staycation.
But we have dropped the ball.
We've dropped the ball, and I need. Even when I feel like a staycation is too short, I need rest. Man, the body's tired.
You see, you must do rest with yourself. Then
Yes.
go on a staycation with us.
I need rest by myself. Just.
Then, yeah. Usa.
But other than that, we're good.
We've been doing good, guys.
Yeah, we've been doing good, guys. Today we have a very anticipated topic.
Hey.
Let it be known that this topic was
We were
Yeah.
postponing it
we
for
were
the longest.
postponing it. We had a poll, and a couple of you guys suggested that we
We have this topic.
we talk about this topic. I feel like also, this topic everybody can relate to some point. Even if you're not relating now, at some point you might relate. So we're like, let's cover it, but it's a bit heavy. It's a bit heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you guys suggested it was like December, and I was like, hell no. I'm not talking about this in December.
I just want to rest. The year already had hands.
Yeah, the yeah.
Now I'm closing it off with such a heavy topic, so it was like cut the
we needed
cameras. We're not
something
doing
very
this.
light.
True.
Yeah,
But we are here.
but we're here.
Don't know if
and
we're ready, but
yeah, we'll just see.
let the Holy Spirit lead.
Amen, guys. We're gonna be talking about grief
And loss, yeah.
Yeah, and loss. Like I said, this topic is a topic that affects many of us, right? And even if it hasn't affected you personally, you probably know someone who's going through it or who's been through it, right? And I believe grief is not just via death, babe. You can grieve yourself while living, There are different forms of grief that we go through as people. So we're going to talk about it. It's very heavy, but let's get it.
Let's get into
Are you
it.
ready?
I don't know. We'll see, guys. That's why I said the Holy Spirit must lead, because I don't know how to navigate grief, because it's like a sensitive topic.
Yeah,
Very
it is a
sensitive,
sensitive
and
topic.
it needs somebody to be very mindful
Yeah, very mindful.
of the things that they're gonna say.
Very
so
mindful.
it's a tricky topic.
Yeah, we must
to discuss
navigate
today.
with caution.
Yeah,
We
like
must
we're
navigate.
walking on eggshells here.
Yeah,
Like,
But I'm gonna try to be as vulnerable
as she can.
as possible. Yeah, because it's a topic that needs you to be very vulnerable
And honest.
and honest and open, especially if you're going about it on a platform like ours, whereas in like we like talking about our experiences, so that someone who's going through it can relate,
yeah.
right? And we can somewhat ease maybe some of the feelings that they're going through. Wabon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about my first encounter with grief, not my recent one, but my first encounter with grief, and just about how it differs, right?
Yeah.
I think my first encounter with grief was my grandmother.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I was very young.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
very
yeah,
young.
yeah.
However, I was very close to my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to give you guys a background about how it happened.
I was about to ask her before we deep dive into like
Yeah.
the grief. You say the nice things about your journey with that particular person.
Yeah.
Then you enter into grief.
Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
I'm just going to talk about the whole rounded experience as a whole, right? So anyway, as I was saying, Huri, my first encounter with grief was I was very young, guys. I don't even remember. I think I was 7 or 8, very young age. And me and my grandmother were very, very close. Like that was my girl. She's even my namesake. I was named after her, right? So how it came about was that my parents would always leave me at my grandmother's. They were gallivanting, guys.
They were living their best
My
life.
parents were gallivanting.
I'm living my best life. Yeah, yeah.
They were having a time. So they'd always leave me at my grandmother's place. When they do their things, maybe they'd leave me at my grandmother's place. So fine. There was this particular day my uncle was in hospital, right? And my mom and dad went to go visit him. And then I was like, no, guys, me personally, I want to stay with my grandmother because that's my girl. You guys can go, like, my uncle, and then you'll find me here. But my mother was very persistent that, and I remember crying, and I'm like, I want to know what's about right? But my mom, I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit or it was just Mudima, but she was very persistent. Nope,
You're not staying.
you're coming with us, right? And obviously at the time I was young, I didn't understand. I was very mad, right? And then shortly after we went to the hospital to visit my uncle, my dad got a phone call, right? And then suddenly there was a shift in the air, a very heavy shift. And what had happened is that my aunt's partner had came in and pretended to be like the neighbor, like Atla Kokotar, and it's in the hood, guys. Ko kasia the neighbor at all times
It's
of
free.
the night. Like it's very
It's like a community.
it's a community.
A
So
big
when
family.
so when he came and had said ke mang mang, because he also had lived there at my grandmother's house at some point in his time. So when he came, it was like, ay ke mang mang. They weren't even thinking something sinister is about to happen. Shabtamana ata, guys. And then apparently when he came, he immediately opened gunfire, right? And then when he opened gunfire, he shot my my grandmother and my aunt, both gone at the scene. My cousins were watching the whole thing. Luckily for them, they were hiding, so he couldn't he couldn't see them.
shoot at
Because I
them.
feel like had he seen them, they were
was gonna
also
shoot
not
at
gonna be
them.
here. Yeah. So that was my first encounter with grief, and I think that whole encounter shook our family to the core. Because usually when grandmothers are alive, they keep the family grounded, they keep the family together. Yeah, so immediately after she had gone, there was
a shift.
Yeah, there was just chaos. Why did the family
There was I can relate. There was a shift because I feel like grandmothers have this. I don't know, man. Like there's something
Yeah.
about grandmothers that they are able to put families together. So
Yes.
once they leave,
Exactly.
it's like the source.
The source is
has
gone.
left.
And like even if family members have differences, when the grandmother's alive, they somehow find a way to live graciously with their differences. Babe sharp or babe family still. But automatically when
When
like
the grandmother goes,
Yeah.
like there's turmoil.
yeah, ever a mess.
Ever
you
a
know?
mess.
And that was my first encounter with grief. It's like, grief is a bit messy.
Yeah.
And because we used to spend so much time with my grandmother, my cousins and I remember them taking us to counseling. But I didn't really process the emotions, guys. When you're young, you process emotions quite differently to how you process them when you're older. Ne? Very differently. It was like, okay, this person is gone, but I didn't understand.
The depth of it.
Yeah, I didn't understand the depth of, okay, they're gone,
But also because I know a lot of people they like undermining losing a person at a young age and
Yeah.
say you wouldn't. I like the fact that you said it's differently, but it doesn't change the fact that you are grieving.
No, definitely.
Right? And people like they like literally like overlooking the fact that but you were young, so you wouldn't understand how it is to grieve somebody when you like 20 something years, and it's like, dude, I could also say that you lived with somebody until you
Yeah.
were 20 something years. Like their life was cut short. Like I only got 10 years of them. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I don't like that. I don't
I
like when
don't.
people compare
No,
grief because
I
my grief
don't.
is very different from yours. It's
Yeah,
really it's not a competition if I can
it's
put it
not.
in that way. It's just grief is messy in its own right, no matter who you've lost, no matter how long you've known them. But just that fact that you've lost someone, and
It
yeah,
counts.
it really counts. It is obviously different. I am gonna say that, like I'm saying with my grandmother, it
It
was
was a
different.
different one.
It is completely different. However, grief is grief, guys, and don't invalidate people's feelings and say, "Hi, like me buray maranalwala,"
Yes, no,
or
yes.
yeah,
Oh,
or
yeah, but at least you got the chance to spend time with them
yeah,
because you
before
saw that they were
yeah,
like
at
grief
least you
is
were with them
grief.
when they passed. Um, I think rather than say such things, I'll get that. I'll get to that later in the episode. But I think rather than just to say such things, rather just keep quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you don't have better things to say, just keep quiet.
yeah. I feel like people, baby, don't know how to handle grief, right? So they find things. People like sounding profound. I wanted to come say that people like offering opinions and like sounding profound. Like when you've lost someone, people don't really know how to navigate that or what to say to you and get. So they like sounding profound, or they'll say things. It's okay. You don't have to say all those things. You can just sit with me. That's
Just
all
be
I
in my
need.
space. Yeah,
That's all I
sometimes it's all
need.
you need.
Because even for me, when I've lost people in my life, I still don't know how to handle grief when it's happening to someone else. But rather than just
Just be there. Show up.
the most you can do is pray for that person and
And
show
show up.
up, be
True.
there.
That's the most
That's
important
all
thing.
you need. You don't need words of encouragement. For me personally, I'm gonna speak from a personal basis a lot in this episode, right? Yeah. So for me, I don't want words of encouragement, cause nothing you say
It's gonna change
is
the way I'm feeling
easing
right
what I'm
now.
feeling at that. Nothing you say, nothing. Don't say anything. Just be there, and I'm gonna be so content with you being there. And I think some people also do it because like they wanna. It's not coming from a bad place.
No, it's not. It's just that people don't understand. And sometimes it's
Yeah.
like until you are in it,
Yeah.
you'll get it.
Let's just be more sensitive
And
more than
mindful.
anything.
Because I know with me as well, I think my first closest like loss wasn't with my granny, it was with my uncle.
Yeah.
They were like 3 years apart. Like they were 3 years apart or 4. It was with my uncle, and I was still young. I think I was in grade 2, if not 3, right? And like my uncle was like, I loved my uncle. Like he's the one who introduced me to music. He was a DJ. Like he was like that uncle everybody
Yeah.
wanted to be with, right? So seeing him in that, because even we got to see him get sick, right? And like seeing him in the state that he was in, it was like, you could imagine I'm young. I'm trying to wrap up. Like, I know
Yeah.
my uncle as this particular person. Now my uncle is this particular. You can imagine the confusion in a child's brain.
Very
Like, you're trying to
confusing.
process, but it's not making sense, right? It was hard. It was really hard because I think I thought, it's nothing because I was young. And I remember and I won't even forget it. There was a particular day I was going to school and I broke down in the transport. And I was like, I just broke down. And somebody asked me, like a friend of mine asked me, she's also late
Yeah.
at the time, why are you crying? And I'm like, I lost my uncle. And I don't think I had dealt with it properly because also I was young. So when you're young, I think also
It's hard.
like you're not giving much attention because it's like, "Ngwana,
The
uklo ba
yeah.
shapo."
Yeah,
You
you're
get
not
it.
giving yeah.
But I
true.
think that's when my brain kind of processed that you'll never be able to see this person ever again. And I just broke down and I couldn't handle it. So grief it's messy, guys. It's not
it's a
nice.
messy journey.
It's like, and there's no master in grieving.
Yeah.
As she says that
It's a very
you can
messy
literally
journey.
lose 5 people in your life, and even from like the fifth time you lose that person, you still don't know how to handle grief. So I get what you're saying when you say it's different to everyone,
It's your own personal journey.
but it's still important. Like
Yeah.
it still counts.
It's your own personal journey, and you need to handle it the way you think it's best for yourself to handle it. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I was saying hore. Yeah, then as like Gineda said, when you're young, it's hard to process when you've lost someone, right? But I could see there was a huge difference. And obviously, I had spent so much time with my grandmother and she's not around anymore. As a child, coming into grasp with that is like, oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh, there's some emptiness that you
there's
feel.
emptiness that you feel, but you can't point it
Point
out.
out
'Cause
what
you're-
it is.
Yeah, you can't point it out. And like Inene said, like everyone is busy with their own things. But I do like that our family was able to
Take
us
you guys to counseling. Yeah, that was a
Especially, I
good
think it's
thing.
because of how it transpired, the way their death came
came
about. Yeah, it was a
about.
bit of a traumatic experience. So they were like, okay, let's handle them. But I don't think counseling helped at that point either. Like I'm saying, they asked us like a couple of questions. We went there a couple of times, but I don't think it really helped. We were young. We were
Yeah,
young.
we're young.
Yeah, we were young. But then fast forward later on in life, I think the grief that really rocked me was losing my dad. Ooh, that one shattered me to the core. I am not the same person I was before. Like I'm saying, there's a huge difference to when I lost my grandmother and when I lost my dad, right? So yeah, fast forward. My dad had been sick for quite some time. Fast forward into like late teens. He had been sick for quite some time. But we couldn't really figure out what's wrong with him. We take him to the hospital. And then yeah, he'd be fine. But then I think when I got to matric, he got really, really sick. When I was in like my final stages of matric, he got really, really sick, and we rushed him to the hospital. And then we found out he had kidney disease. And if you're not familiar with that, it's basically like your kidneys failing. And if your kidneys fail, nothing can, like,
There's nothing they can do except
there's
for getting
nothing
new
they can
kidneys.
do. And they must just get you another kidney,
Kidney,
or
yeah.
you can be put on dialysis, right? And both his kidneys weren't functioning, so it's not, he had to be put on full-time dialysis. However, dialysis is not so easy. It's a hard process, baby. It's like they basically drain out all the blood in your body via a machine, and it cleans it. It does what the kidneys do, right? But also, guys, in matric, I still believe I was still a baby in matric, right? And me and my dad were super close. I can't even explain the bond
closeness,
that we
yeah.
had. It was
We all knew. If you
Yeah.
knew Doopsy, then
Yeah.
we all knew that Doopsy's a daddy's girl.
Yeah, I was a daddy's girl to the core. That was my guy, my friend. He was my everything, you know. I think I first experienced love via him. Like, yeah, he was my world. So in matric, when he got sick, it was very difficult. I was like, yo. And he got sick to a point where the doctors would tell us,
There's nothing we
kids,
can
child,
do.
you guys can come. But thank God, God is so good, because at that time he got better. But it was still hard because we were like coming into grasp with our new reality. He had to go to the hospital 3 times a week to get dialysis. So it was still hard. And for him to be better also was quite it was a journey. And for me it was very hard because I feel like I was this primary caregiver. Yes, my mom was there, everyone was there at home, but like I said, my dad and I were so close that he didn't want anyone else assisting him. I would assist him with literally everything. And obviously I was also, and then now when we've moved, I'm in varsity now. That's harder, guys. Varsity is hard
On its own. Show you flames.
varsity is hard.
Show you flames.
So you can imagine now I'm dealing with this thing. And I think for me, the craziest thing was every time I was about to write an exam, my dad would be critical. Like he'd go to ICU and I'd be writing the next day. And you can't postpone and say, no, you're never going to finish what you have to do. So that's just me saying life goes on, guys. No matter what you're
Regardless.
having going on, whether your life is falling apart, the saddest thing about life is that time keeps clocking and you have to go.
Because the saddest thing is that if you hadn't went and wrote your exam, you could have. There's going to be consequences of you not writing your exam.
there's going to be consequences.
Because life really does move on. So what you choose not to focus on now will catch up with you eventually. You get what I'm
And
saying?
sometimes you don't want to do anything, baby. You just want to be in your misery and be sad. But unfortunately, you can't do that.
You can't.
You know, life goes on. Fine then, guys. Then he got better. My dad got better. He was on dialysis, living properly. And then COVID happened. We all got COVID going through. I don't know how, but somewhere we all got COVID. And we all got really sick. Like everyone at that, like my mom was sick, my sister was sick, my nephew was sick, I was sick. Like it almost took us out.
The whole fam.
But my dad, because he had, kidney disease, when he got COVID, we were also like, like this man has been making it past, he's been escaping death bit by bit. Is he gonna make it this time?
one.
So at the back of our minds, we were all like, this time
He won't make
this
it.
time it's like it's giving chai. But he was the doctors would tell us he's getting better, you're gonna discharge him. And just before they discharged him, they were like, no, it's getting worse. And the saddest part with COVID is that you couldn't go see the people who were in hospital, right? People in ICU, hospitals were closed because of COVID. So you couldn't see, like, you'd see him via video call or like talk to him on the phone, but you couldn't see his condition by yourself. So that made the whole thing very hard. So then the doctors were like, "Hey guys, we're so sorry, but he didn't make it." Ooh. Let me tell you now, our world shattered to the ground. Nothing was ever the same. To this day, nothing is the same. And you know how people are like, "No, guys, time heals."
Yeah, I know you like saying
Let
time
me tell
doesn't
you
heal.
now.
You just learn to live with it.
You learn to live with it. Time doesn't heal, and you don't lose. I know people will never tell you this, right? People think you lose your parent once or your loved one once. You don't lose them once. Every time something is happening to you, your life is like it's now tainted with sadness. Every time something good happens to you, that sadness lingers in, and you're like, yo, that person should have
Been here. I wish my dad was here.
yeah, when you graduate, when you get your first job, when you walk down the aisle, when you do this, those moments are always gonna be tainted with that little sadness that I'm achieving something so great, I'm doing something so great, but I really wish this person was here. But I am gonna say it's been like 5 years now, 5 years without him, and I'm better, I can get through life. I
Way
can speak
better.
about this without crying and being okay. I'm not fully okay. I don't think I'll ever be okay. A friend of ours recently lost someone, and I was having a conversation with her. I'm like, no, you're not ever gonna be okay. And
Yeah.
don't beat yourself up trying to rush
The process. You can never rush grief and loss. Like it's something you have to live with until you also like
Yeah.
leave Earth.
Or until you experience grief again. Because
Yes.
unfortunately, we don't know. Grief is like, it's endless, guys. And that's the thing that scares me. It's because, like, yes, I might have gone through that grief, but there might be still more grief coming, babe.
I think the crazy part is that it's the one thing that we are promised in life, but
Yes,
we
it's
still
the
can't
one
wrap
thing-
our fingers or our
It's-
heads
yeah,
around it. It's like,
the
wow.
one thing we're promised, but it's also one of the most painful things anybody can go through. Losing a loved one is so painful. Oh my goodness. It's even hard to describe in words just
How it is.
How painful it is.
Because I remember 2023 and 2024, early 2024 and 2023, I was grieving my granny. It felt like
yeah,
it felt like it just happened like
It does feel
recently,
like it
and
just
like
happened.
in 2023 that was like 13 years of me not having my granny around, right?
Yeah.
But it hit me so hard. Like I'd literally I had a lot of breakdowns between late 2023 into early 2024 where I just literally grieve my granny and I'm like, what's
Yeah,
going on with me?
know.
It's been 13 years. Why am I feeling like this? Why am I feeling like my granny just left as in like yesterday?
That's perfectly normal.
Grief is messy. It can catch up with you at any point.
It can catch up with you on any day. You could be having the greatest day of your life, guys, and you see something
Or hear
so
a
small,
song.
or hear a song, like just a little reminder, and then it takes you right back to the first time you've had. Hence why I'm saying you don't lose that person once. You constantly lose them over and over again.
And there's a quote, I want to get it on Instagram, but like, I don't know why I didn't get it before, but there's a quote that spoke about grief. And it put it so nicely, something about you being given like an opportunity to love somebody, but knowing that they're gonna, like you
Yeah.
or them might leave, but you are still given the opportunity to experience this person.
Yeah.
But I don't know how it went, but it was a beautiful way of viewing
Yeah.
grief, because usually sometimes not usually, okay, yeah, sometimes when we view grief, we view it as a sad thing, right?
Yeah.
Because it is sad, but it has it's good, like good days where you can remember your dad and it's not out of
Yeah.
sadness, but out
Yeah.
of the beautiful moments or the memories that you guys created, you know. So I was just like, yeah, no, guys, grief is hectic, because I know the time I lost my granny, I went through the most. Like just like you were close with your granny, me and my granny were like
Yeah.
close. Like when I say close, I think I'm like out of the grandkids the one that I spent the most time with my granny. And I think
Yeah.
my granny raised, because one thing about my granny, she'd be like, hey, let's amaya le bana ba lena. Hey, le yami nothing. I'm not
Real.
gonna stay with them, you know. So
Yeah.
with me, there was some sort of grace. So I was usually with my granny. So the time she passed away,
Yeah.
I was just like, there's no way. I was 13. Yeah, I was like, there is no way that woman is gone, you know. And I think what I try not to think about it a lot, but like I remember when the funeral passed, or in that week of the funeral,
Yeah.
my mom was like to me, my mom or my aunt was like to me, when Coco was about to pass on, like the day before she passed on, or in
Yeah.
that particular day, she asked if she could see you, but then because you were young and the hospital was like, we can't allow the kid to see the patient in such a state, so I wasn't allowed. But my granny was literally yearning for me, like I want to see her, I want to see. It's like,
I feel like they know.
yeah,
They definitely know because before my dad passed, he called me and we had a very
Long
long
call.
conversation, like a very long conversation. We're just going over things, and then after he passed, I'm like, oh, he was saying bye. So in some part of their spirit, even if they might not be able to pinpoint where they're leaving, their spirit knows, and
yeah.
therefore they take actions measure. That's why people will be like, yo, mara money.
Ale,
Yeah, they were doing this and this and this. They know.
Because sometimes also the spirit leaves the body
Definitely.
before the body could also like, So
Definitely.
I think for me, I like at that time, I was kind of like pissed with my family. Like you guys couldn't
Yeah,
like why don't you
Lutibile
guys
a
fight
moment.
it so I can just talk to her? What is it that you wanted to say to me? And you live with that, but you can't get answers, and you
Yeah.
have to heal from that, or like just accept things for what they are. So grief is very messy. That's I'm like
Yeah,
like
that's also very
2023.
painful because it's like you didn't get closure.
I didn't get closure, but I
Yeah.
have to live with it,
I
right?
also feel the same way because I'm saying with COVID restrictions, we couldn't see my dad. So it's like he just passed. He was
Like 1 minute he was in the
here,
house,
and
no, 1
then
minute he was
was
gone.
gone. You know, so that thing of not getting closure is very painful. So and a lot of people are losing their loved ones, guys. Kana kola ya COVID. So it was just a very painful like
Experience.
yeah, it was very painful time for everyone. Yeah, guys, this thing is not easy. It's not child's play. This thing, and yeah,
Sorry, baby, I don't.
and I just feel like I'm saying, yes, you lose a loved ones, but you also lose yourself because like that person you were, like me when I had a dad, is not me anymore. So that reality is not my reality anymore. It's like you're also mourning
Yourself, a part of you is gone.
yeah, also a part of you is mourning yourself, and it's just so it's a difficult process to maneuver. But I think more than anything, people need to be more softer when you're experiencing grief. Be more softer
On yourself and afford yourself grace.
Afford yourself grace. Do whatever, lick your own wounds, guys. Do whatever it takes to make yourself feel better, right? But be very careful not
to
to
stay.
let that grief consume you because it can consume you, right? It can consume you. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying don't grieve all you want, guys, because unfortunately the saddest thing with grief is that people will be there, but your support will be there, but at the end it's gonna fizzle out because life goes on, and as it should, baby. You can't expect people to be at the same place. Your life has completely come to an halt. Your life can't go on as it was before, right? But people around you, life goes on. So moving on from that is so hard, but you need to find something to live for, and that person you've lost, you also need to live for them because they also wouldn't want you to be
Stagnant.
stagnant. It's not as easy as it being said. The whole process is easier to be like, guys, get up or be sharp.
Get over it.
It's not easy, and you need to take time. Don't also just kind of fast forward through the process and act like it didn't happen.
Or find distractions. Like
yeah,
when we say like go through it and grow through it.
yeah.
Don't just go and
definitely.
sit.
Yeah, don't
Like-
let it overwhelm
Overwhelm you. Like don't let
Yeah.
it like consume your life. Like
Yeah.
everything now it's about the grief. You get what I'm saying? Because outside of the grief, you still have a life. You
Yeah.
still have things that you wanted to achieve. You still wanted this, you still wanted that. And life unfortunately won't wait for you. It moves.
That's the craziest part.
It moves with or without you. Life will move. So if you decide that you wanna sit in your grief and do nothing, it's literally gonna it's
Fight.
Yo, yeah.
Fight, basically.
Yeah, fight for yourself.
Fight for yourself, fight for your life, fight for just being okay, But that being said, don't rush it. Like, don't make it seem like, get sharp.
Get sharp when
I'll
you're not
sharp,
okay.
or-
Like, and it's okay not to be okay,
Yeah,
but
I'll
also
sharp.
not being okay while moving.
Yes.
But
Because sometimes it will catch up with you, baby. If you fast forward your life
Yeah.
and be like, okay, catch up, you're gonna crash
and this
out.
this is with everything that you have lost, even
Yes.
if it's not particularly a person, but something. Don't
You're
try
gonna
to rush the
crash
process of healing.
out.
Just move,
Yeah.
whether you're moving at a speed of a tortoise or I don't know, but as long as you're moving and you're not
Yeah.
stagnant, it's better than you just sitting in it and doing nothing about it.
I definitely
Start, like, find things that are gonna make you happy again outside of
find
that
little joys.
person. Yeah.
I think for me, my community really helped me. There were times like I didn't want to be out and about, you know.
And I'd
but
force you.
Yeah, definitely it would force me.
I
Right?
I forced the guys,
Yeah.
like, I'd be like, I want to do a surprise thingy for that type. She's going, and I'm like, she'll find a way.
And I didn't want to be around no
No,
one.
she really
I
didn't.
really didn't. Like nothing brought me joy. I was miserable, as it should be.
You know,
You know, I was miserable. But now that I'm looking back at it, those little
Supportive,
things really contributed to my healing.
because sometimes I really just show up. We won't even speak much, and we just sit
Yeah.
in quietness.
Like I said,
And that's
sometimes you don't
okay.
need people to speak and come about get lots of
And I won't ask you,
profound
how are you? I know
Obviously,
how
ke
you are.
shabo.
I don't.
I'm down bad. I'm crashing out, you know. Don't ask questions.
No.
Also, have boundaries, guys. Some people are very insensitive when it comes to grief. Like, have boundaries. Let the person treat the person the way they wanna be treated.
Because it's not about you.
it's
It's
not
not about the
about
second
you.
person. It's about the particular person
It's
who's going
about the
through it.
particular person. But that being said, have support your people, you know, like Inelo and my friends. I had a community,
Yeah,
guys,
she did,
you know,
guys.
and my family as well. My family were very
Close,
we're a close family, so we had each other. So you need a community. Otherwise,
And also,
I fear for you. Eh,
and besides that, sometimes you can have a community, but you're not allowing your community to be there for you. So that's the challenge as well. Because if, let's say, I think for me, it was easy to get access to Doopsy because I just show up, right? Unannounced.
Yeah.
I'd knock somebody
And
open
sometimes
for me.
I wouldn't want to,
Yeah,
guys.
but I'd just be like,
wouldn't
I'm here,
yeah.
right? But if you as an individual, you are creating those walls where we can't access you. I know if I call you, you won't pick up. I text you, you won't text back. I rock at your house, I might literally ring the bell and nobody's
no
gonna
one is gonna
open for me.
open, yeah.
It makes it hard.
Allow your community to be
there
there
for
for you.
you.
Those people are gonna make sure you're okay, guys. It might like
You not see it now. You might not see it or
you
feel
might
it
not
now.
And thing is, like, I think a year or so after you've lost a loved one, like you're on flight mode, people. I want to see you're existing because you need to exist. You're doing things because you need to do things.
them.
Luckily for me, I always say, Ori, I'm glad I lost my dad via lockdown because I was able to sit down with my emotions.
Yeah, sit within.
Face my emotions head on. Nothing was distracting me. Not
And
work,
not
not
the
school.
world wasn't actually
Yeah,
moving during
the world
lockdown.
wasn't
The world was a
moving.
bit. It was moving at a pace of a tortoise.
Yeah, I needed that. I don't think I would have survived now, like, because life goes on, like I'm saying. I needed that calmness. So I'm so glad it happened then, because had it happened now. But I still feel like your community is the one that's going
They'll carry you down.
Carry you.
They will carry you down because there's days where you can't carry. Because I remember I even sent a video to Doopsy recently about a woman who was speaking about having a community.
Yeah.
That at that particular point, she was in a funk and she didn't want to see anybody because she's going through a loss and she just lost her dad, and then like 2 weeks later, a month later, she lost the mom. So like it was a lot going on. And a particular friend called her and she was like, I'm showing up. And she didn't want to see the friend because she's in a funk. But the friend showed up, and when she got there, they just started speaking. Like, it wasn't a thing, "Oh, how are you? I know you're not doing great." But they just started speaking and stuff. And
Distraction.
she remembers her friend. She was talking to her friend and telling her how she's so fearful of probably losing somebody next. And right then and then, her friend literally laid hands on her and started praying. And she said, after my friend prayed for me, I felt some sort of release, tension out of my body. And she was like, at that point, she was literally rebuking fear in my life. She was rebuking a lot of things that I wouldn't have seen at that particular point, right? But because I let her do what she felt was best at that particular time, it helped me. And here I am today, able to speak about it. And she was like, community is very important.
Community is very important. They will literally pull you back together when you're in shreds. Like, I personally wouldn't have made it without community, without God. Because also when you lose a loved one, there's a moment where you get very angry at God. Like, yo, how could you do that to
Why
me?
could
you
you
know?
know?
Yeah,
You know better.
you
So why
know.
did you do
why,
that?
Why would you do that for? I don't think I deserve. I don't think anyone
Deserves to go
grief.
through grief.
Yeah, losing a loved one. No one in the world deserves
Is
that.
that-
Unfortunately, some of us are all like, it's something we're promised, but most people are gonna go through it. Most people are gonna go through it. So you need something. You need
yeah, and your because your faith can be tested.
your
in
faith
that
will be tested,
particular
and
time.
faith how you teka.
It can be
Your
tested.
faith how is gonna be.
Tickering. So,
Yeah.
and I think it's important to have that supportive structure that also they are also rooted in what you believe in, because they'll be able to like kind of like pick you up and
Sway
put you
you,
back
yeah.
into the like put you back with law, like not really put you back, but
Yeah.
like swing you into the right direction, you know,
Yeah.
because you get angry, you ask God a lot of
Yeah.
questions, you just like,
Yeah.
you knew better, why would you put me in this situation? And it's okay.
It's okay.
But don't stay in it for long. Like, you can't be angry with God for a long time. You can't be like, why this, why that, pointing fingers. At some point, you need to come to acceptance of what your new reality is.
I think, fortunately for me, I didn't go through that period where I was angry at God. Thank
Yo,
God.
yes, because that's another, you're
Yeah.
grieving something, you heal it. It's another grief on its own.
I didn't go through that. I think with the loss of my dad, that's when I actually became closer to God. You know,
because he was the only person you like outside
Yeah.
of your supportive structure. You
That's
knew
my
that
guy.
even when
Yeah.
I'm alone, he's still here
Yes.
with me.
Obviously, I had questions. Why Mara motho a sang isa down the aisle? Like, you ask yourself questions. So, guys, why me? I would have loved to, if I have kids in the future, my dad being there. More than anything, my dad was my homie. Like, I would have loved having him around. For majority. I was fairly young when he left. So you do ask God those questions. But for me, those questions brought me closer to God and the Holy Spirit. Because the Holy Spirit was like,
come down, my sister.
I got you.
Yeah, like,
I know
literally
you don't understand, but I
but,
got you. Another emotion big they don't talk about usually with grief is guilt. You go through guilt.
yeah, and guilt comes in both ways, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can, let's say, in the instance where you and that particular person were not in right standing,
on good
and they
terms.
pass on, there's guilt.
There's
Right?
guilt.
Even if they pass on and you guys were in good standing,
There's-
because of the things that happen in your life and you want them to be there,
there's
some things
guilt.
you feel guilt that you're
Yeah.
over, like you are achieving them without
them.
them being there. So the guilt is there regardless of how.
There's always gonna be guilt. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're stuck here with me. With my dad's guilt was like, yo, should we have maybe taken him to the hospital earlier? You have questions. Yo, should we have done this maybe earlier? Ke mang a tlisitseng COVID? Ke mang na tshwere ke
Yeah,
nna? Maybe like it's COVID.
The guilt will
There's
always be
guilt.
there.
And be careful so that it doesn't consume you. Because at the end of the day, thato ya Modimo e irahetse.
His
E
will is
botlhoko.
done.
Yone e botlhoko thato ya Modimo, mara e irahetse. So don't beat yourself up. And then another part of guilt that hit me was like, yo, I'm getting happier,
That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
that's why I'm like, you're gonna, there's certain things you're gonna achieve that are so, like, you're literally proud of yourself, but you feel guilt. Like, why am I, like, what, that person's not here and I'm here being happy. And
yeah,
like,
oh my goodness, I'm happier and this person is not around. So that guilt hits you. And it's okay, guys. Go through grief brings 1,000 emotions. It's painful, it's happiness thinking about that person. There's a world of emotions that you go through. Just go step by step.
Bophelo bo nyaka step by
step.
step.
Grief
Yo.
yona nyaka
Step by step.
guys. And utlo ba sharp,
Eventually you are good, as long as you're working on bettering yourself and trying, like, healing never stops.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people need to come into terms
Yeah.
with. Like, you'll never stop healing. You're always
Yeah.
healing from something, whether
Healing
it's
is a never-ending cycle.
yes, whether it's grief, whether it's a part of you that got lost, whatever it is, we never stop healing. We literally heal as we go.
Definitely, yeah. We
So,
heal as we
go.
go. Re la re ntse re
It's
tsamaya.
tsamaya, re
I
di
always say that,
ambulance.
re ambulance, re la re ntse re tsamaya,
And I like that concept because the ambulance doesn't stop. It's ringing, but it's moving.
yeah,
And it's probably a crazy situation happening. There's somebody lying in there and they're trying to save somebody's life, but it's moving. Unfortunately, it's moving. So I just feel like, guys, grief, it's not easy. No matter how much people want to like undermine it or downplay, or if when like somebody you loved died when you were young, or like you lost them when you were young, it doesn't matter. It still catches up with you.
Yeah.
It's still a thing. But for me, it's like keep moving
Yeah.
and you'll be
Yeah,
alright.
yeah. I think grief is a personal journey. And it's okay to be very selfish with your grief, guys. If you don't want to allow people in at a certain time,
At a certain time,
yeah, at
though.
a certain time, it's okay. Go through all those emotions step by step. There's gonna be times 10 years from now, it's gonna be my dad's birthday, and I'm gonna feel like it's
Exactly the
the
same.
first time. Yeah, you know, it's like I'm saying, time doesn't heal, but things do get better.
Better, yeah.
And go through all those emotions. Be kind to yourself. Be easy on yourself. Like, don't rush the process.
You can't rush it.
Don't rush the you're gonna see you're gonna go down, right?
You're gonna go downhill.
Yeah, and it's gonna catch up with you when you least expect. When you think you're
Yeah. And I think also don't try to get distractions.
don't get
That's how I'm like
distractions.
go through it and
But live.
grow,
Yeah.
like go through it and grow through it. Like don't just sit in it. Like go through it. It's okay. Like it's okay to wake up like and feel like today you don't want to do anything. And that's you giving yourself
Yeah.
rest and like I'm not gonna entertain anything today. That's fine, right? But don't just be in denial.
Yeah.
And walk around as if like everything is okay when it's not. Don't be trying to be a staring in front of your friends with no, I'm fine, when you know that
Don't
you're
be a
not fine.
it's gonna
If you
catch
need
up
to
with you.
cry, cry about it and release all that tension and all that feeling like there's something on like something heavy on your what is that, on your shoulders. So it's not easy, but
Yeah, guys, grief is that monkey. I want that chicken licking monkey. Ella, the craving monkey that just keeps growing.
Oh,
and
yes, growing. Yeah.
Until you feed that craving, until you deal with
it.
Then it's just, yeah, basically. It's just
that's
that.
a good example.
Yeah, it's that monkey. Be like, oh, hey, monkey, you just learn to live with it.
But guys, I hope that you guys were able to relate because
Yeah.
this was the most topic. I think this it's the same as the friendship one.
Yeah.
We can go on
Yeah,
and
I could
on
talk
and
all day
on and
about
on.
this.
Like the friendship and Mojolo and like we can go on and on about it. But we hope that out of this episode you guys were able to like find something that was very relatable, or some of the advices that we gave are very helpful and you guys can
Definitely.
utilize them. But yeah, I hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed the
I
episode.
also hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, give yourself time, allow yourself to grieve, be kind to yourself. It's okay. And it will be,
be
it might not
okay.
feel like it's gonna be okay.
But it'll be okay
But
eventually.
you will learn to deal with it and you're gonna be fine. That's it. You're gonna be fine. Like everything else in life, guys, it might not feel like it when you're going through it, but you
you're
are
gonna
gonna
be
be fine.
fine.
So yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next episode. Bye.